Tonight, the First Minister condemns unacceptable scenes. Protests are held in Scotland in response to a knife attack in Belfast. Also tonight,
I'm in Boston as this incredible city gets ready to host as many as 20,000 Scotland fans ahead of the World Cup kicking off this weekend.
While on the pitch, we have the latest from the Scotland training camp in North Carolina, and we speak exclusively to Scotland legend Kenny Dalglish. Good evening, I'm Norman MacLeod, and this is the STV News at 6, live from Aberdeen. Five people have been injured, including 2 police officers, after hundreds of anti-immigration protesters gathered in Glasgow. A number of other protests were held across Scotland, but passed without serious incident. Dozens of officers were deployed to try and contain the violence in Glasgow. The First Minister condemned the unacceptable scenes. The disturbance follows a stabbing by a Sudanese national in Belfast on Monday. Here's Gordon Cree.
In Belfast last night, scenes reminiscent of the Troubles. The violence broke out in the aftermath of the stabbing attack on 44-year-old Stephen Ogilvie, who lost an eye. A Sudanese national has been charged with attempted murder. At the same time, around 250 people marched through Glasgow, many of them men in masks, targeting non-white people. That led to 3 arrests, with police officers and members of the public injured. Javed's shop is next to where the trouble broke out.
My staff phoned me about 10:30 that something is going on outside. They've seen too many people with black clothes, masks and everything while they was walking, so some of them banging the glass. So they, for the safety reason, they have just put it down the shutters. Everybody's worrying about it. Hopefully it's not got any bigger trouble.
Police lined the streets last night in an attempt to keep order.
During this disorder, we believe members of the public were attacked because of the colour of their skin, and officers were also attacked. I strongly condemn that offending and send a clear message that there is no place for racism and violence in Scotland.
There are a lot of questions about the events here last night, namely, why did it happen, what's the impact of it going to be, and what's going to be done about it. Today, officers and colleagues from immigration enforcement were in St Enoch's Square, where some were feeling uneasy about the atmosphere.
It is very frightening. It is very, very frightening because Glasgow is seen to be one of the peaceful cities, and this thing now happening is very traumatizing.
I have never felt that frightened, to be honest, in my 26 years here in Scotland. But, lately what I have been seeing is really, really terrifying, not only for me, but for everyone who is not, indigenous Scot, or who's not, of a different colour.
Why, as a mother, should I have to ask my girls to stay home because of some incident that's happened in Belfast? And that's how it's impacting families and communities just now. Communities where Muslims, Hindus, people of colour are living.
There were demonstrations too in Edinburgh, Ayr, Falkirk, Paisley and Perth. This was the capital, although none of these led to arrests.
This is all being inspired by some of the hateful rhetoric that is being spread by the far right. So I can only deduce that there is a connection between these individuals who are perpetrating these acts of violence and the far-right politics which have no place in Scotland.
Those people who have done it have let down those like myself and others who have been claiming about the issues of mass illegal migration is creating in our country, because when you resort to violence, when you resort to racism, what you do is you give John Swinney a win, because he wants to turn this argument into one against people like me rather than arguing the actual issue of mass migration.
With Belfast braced for more trouble, many here will be hoping for a quieter night in Scotland, but the fear remains about what lies ahead. Gordon Cree, STV News, Glasgow.
Well, at Holyrood, the Justice Secretary said there's no place for racism, hatred or intimidation on the streets of Scotland. Our political editor, Colin Mackay, was watching. Colin, ugly scenes last night. What else have the politicians been saying?
There was real anger in Parliament today, anger at the trouble, as you say, last night, but there was also some anger directed at Reform UK. You heard the party's deputy leader in Gordon's report there. He's been talking about anger in working class communities across Scotland at what he says is mass illegal migration. He says it's fine to protest, but he doesn't want to see the violence or racism. But that's what the SNP and Labour are accusing Reform of stoking.
Last night's event was not a random outburst of bigotry and violence. It marks a further escalation in organised far-right riots that are becoming all too common in Scotland. From Perth to Peterhead, Falkirk to Ayr, we are seeing the forces of hate out emboldened in our streets, intimidating and harassing all law-abiding citizens.
This was not protest. This was criminal disorder. And families should be able to go about their daily lives in Scotland today without fear of violence, intimidation or public order by a gang of balaclava-clad hooligans.
Last night was designed to intimidate. It was designed to cause alarm. It was designed to divide. But, Presiding Officer, we will not allow those who seek to intimidate us.
And Colin, MSP is also debating opposition demands for a parliamentary inquiry into SNP finances.
Well, Peter Murrell, the former Chief Executive, has already pled guilty to embezzling more than £400,000 from the SNP. He'll be sentenced later this month. But because he pled guilty, there will be no evidence from senior figures in court. The Labour Party is now pushing hard for a parliamentary inquiry, led by a cross-party committee here.
This inquiry is not about rival political parties inquiring into the internal workings of another party. The SNP can own the shame of the embezzlement of £400,000 of their own hard-working supporters' money. But there are legitimate questions about a culture that goes beyond how a party internally operates and affects how our government and how our country is run.
The Labour Party's proposal is because of one thing, and one thing alone. It is the response of sore losers who cannot deal with the fact that for 20 years they have failed to put a positive vision about this country to the people and got the response that they deserved over and over again.
So there'll be no parliamentary inquiry here, although there might still be one at Westminster. The Scottish Affairs Committee is still considering that. What there will be, though, is an independent inquiry, not just looking at the SNP's finances, but all parties' finances and big political donations. That's the Greens' idea, backed by the SNP. It's not what Labour, Reform, the Tories or the Lib Dems wanted, but it's what won the vote in Parliament this afternoon. Anas Sarwar said 3 times to the SNP, if you've nothing to hide, you've nothing to fear. Tonight, that's something for all the parties to think about.
OK, Colin at Holyrood, thank you. Now, the Tartan Army is jetting into Boston ahead of Scotland's opening match of the World Cup. Tens of thousands of fans are expected to arrive ahead of Sunday's game against Haiti. Our reporter Chris Harvey is among them as the city prepares for a tartan invasion 3 decades in the making.
Welcome to Boston. The Massachusetts state capital is the host of Scotland's opening 2 World Cup games. We've waited, yes, repeat after me, 28 years for this moment, and we are so ready. I'm ready. I know you're ready. Steve Clark, the players, they're also ready. And the Tartan Army, as many as 20,000 of them, are also ready. But it's not just Scotland that this city is hosting. It's France, England, Ghana, Haiti, Morocco, Iraq and Norway. Is the city ready? I took to the streets to find out. How's it treating you so far, Boston?
Oh, amazing. Fantastic. Jesus, weather. It's just like being back home.
It's just like Aberdeen. Brilliant.
How are the locals treating you so far?
The locals are fantastic. Very friendly, very helpful. Absolutely no problem whatsoever.
And have you managed to persuade them to back Scotland and not the other lot?
Everybody's back in Scotland. 100%.
How are you finding the city and are you ready for this?
I'm ready for this summer. I think it's going to be brilliant. I think Scotland are going to win the group as well. So I'll put my money where my mouth is. So I would say we'll win the group. Yep.
Brazil, they're not that good, are they?
Nah, I think we'll beat them 2-1.
2-1?
Aye.
Haiti up first though. We have to win this one.
We've got it in the bag. Absolutely, we're going on Saturday, aren't we? Yeah. We're so excited. We just arrived last night, but we're just trying to get our bearings and figure out what we're up to and where we're going.
Are you ready for the Scotland invasion?
We're getting ready. It's going to be amazing. We're looking forward to it. We even get some Scottish beer in for you guys to take care of you guys. And so far, the people that we've seen that have come in so far have been fantastic, energetic, a lot of enthusiasm, and it's going to be an exciting time for us.
Have you ordered enough beer?
Well, from what I'm hearing, I certainly hope so, because you guys have pretty thirsty, and I love that because I can relate to that. So yes, I hope so.
Well, as you can see, Scotland and the fans, they are ready for it. After all, we've waited long enough. Boston, I'm not quite so sure. They're going to get one hell of an education over the next few days. The Scotland fans, though, they will need some cooling down, and this is the ideal place. Chris Harvey, STV News in Boston.
Parents fighting to save a rural nursery are urging Angus Council to rethink the decision. Cortachy Nursery near Kirriemuir is facing temporary closure due to low numbers. Lynn Rankin reports.
Parents and children are stepping up their campaign to save their local nursery. The facility in the village of Cortachy near Kirriemuir is due to close this summer due to low numbers.
It was extremely disappointing, especially given the lack of consultation. I think had we known that they had introduced this new policy, we're capped at 8 children and they're demanding 5 kids. Had we known that that was the case and we only had 3 applicants, we could have gone through this process months ago and gone out to the wider community to see if there is any other families out there.
Families now face finding a place for their children in surrounding towns or villages several miles away.
Myself and my family moved to the area earlier this year, and one of the main reasons involved in locating to this area was that there was such a close proximity to a well-rated, excellently rated and well-attended school and nursery. We've got a young family, we wanted to have the country life for them.
My child is really thriving in a small setting, and previously we know that he would have never coped in a large setting, so not only having to travel much further to the nearest town, but actually having that calm, intimate setting has been really important for his development.
Jess says her daughter is thriving at the nursery and has another little girl who would start in the next couple of years.
It just came out of the blue, it was really sudden, and it feels like if really the children and the families were actually at the heart of the decision making, we would have been told much sooner that there was a risk of this happening.
The Community Council is urging the local authority to reconsider the decision and think of the future of rural areas.
And there's an inevitability, if the nursery numbers disappear, then there aren't going to be P1s coming in. And that's going to impact on the sustainability of the area, because we want young families to come and live in rural areas. And a nursery, especially one like this, which is so included in the whole school, is a real attraction for parents.
Angus Council has previously said it has carefully considered the educational benefits for children, but given the projected small nursery role and the staffing required, it's mindful of the potential disadvantages. If 5 or more applications are received, the local authority says it will review the position. Parents are now hoping to attract another 1 or 2 children to enrol in the nursery in August, but time is against them, with applications needed within days. Lynn Rankin, STV News.
A man's been injured after an e-scooter crash in Inverness. Emergency services were called around 10:40 last night to the scene on Grant Street at the junction with Lochalsh Road. The rider, a 33-year-old man, was taken to hospital where his condition is described as serious. A Scottish charity has distributed nearly £1 million in fuel vouchers supporting the most vulnerable over the past year. Aberdeen-based Scarf has supported just under 6,000 households throughout the project.
The thing with these schemes is often they're short term and they become just a sticking plaster. The household needs to be able to try and break the cycle, and that's where we try and make our interventions as valuable and as meaningful as possible so that we can give advice.
Firefighters are dealing with a blaze affecting a large farm building in Easter Ross. 6 appliances and specialist resources are currently at the scene at Fern Airfield Road close to Tain. They were alerted around 9:20 this morning. Well, as you heard earlier, the World Cup excitement is building, with Steve Clarke's men just days away from their opening match. To sport now and more on the build-up, Raman Bardwaj is in Boston with the very latest. Raman.
Good luck, Scotland. C.R. Smith sponsors STV Sport.
A very good evening to you all from Boston. You know, this city is famous for its sports culture. In baseball, they've got the Boston Red Sox. In American football, they've got the New England Patriots. But you know, over the next few weeks, football, or soccer as they call it here, will take centre stage for this summer's World Cup. Now, Scotland's first two group games against Haiti on Sunday and Morocco a week on Friday will take place in Foxborough, which is about 30 miles south from where we are in Boston just now. Steve Clarke's squad are based in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Ronnie Charters has been there ever since they arrived, and he joins us live now. Ronnie, what's the latest from the Scotland camp then?
I'm still laughing at that soccer reference from you there, Rahman. Yes, welcome. It's day 3 officially here with the Scotland team in North Carolina. It's fair to say the intensity in training is very much ramping up. You can feel it in and around the place. It's getting very real now. We're 3 days away from Boston, Massachusetts, in that huge game, as you mentioned, against Haiti. Today it was the turn of birthday boy Aaron Hickey. What a way to spend your birthday with us and, of course, his Scotland teammates. Now, Aaron Hickey ruled out of Euro 2024. It was a gutting experience for the right-back. A hamstring injury meant he was no longer able to make it to the Euros. Now, though, he's back. He's worked really hard to get here, has the man from Brentford. And why else would he not love spending his birthday with us and Steve Clarke and his men? He's living the dream.
Yeah, I think it's one of the hardest things being injured as a footballer. I can't tell you how hard it is, and obviously missing out on the tournament, the Euros last time was very difficult. But no, I'm just delighted that it's in the past now and we're here at the World Cup. I think my dream is just being here, to be honest. Playing at the World Cup for your country is everything. So, yeah, what a way to spend it, to be honest.
And he was presented with a birthday cake this afternoon here in Charlotte, but he didn't have any, so well done, Aaron. He's all set to go on Saturday. One piece of news we do have for you, Rahman. Scott McKenna was the only player not training today. Everyone else took to the field. We understand that the player is fine. It was just a precautionary measure and he should be okay, should be called upon on Saturday. So here we go. We're all set. A couple of days' time, Scotland will train here tomorrow and the next day. And then we're coming to see you, Rahman. We're not too far away from Scotland versus Haiti.
Can't wait to arrive here, Ronnie, live from Charlotte. Thanks very much for that. Well, Scotland's most capped player, Kenny Dalglish, says that this current team has the best chance of creating history by becoming the first Scotland side to reach the knockout stage of a major tournament. In an exclusive interview with STV Sport, Dalglish also says that Steve Clarke has done an incredible job as head coach and says the win and performance over Denmark last year in that crucial World Cup qualifier proves that this side can handle the pressure against quality opposition. He scored in crucial World Cup qualifiers.
Bucking out in front. Dalglish scores! What a goal! That's it! And Argentina, here we come.
He's scored in World Cups.
Dalglish. Oh, beautiful goal. Beautiful goal by Kenny Dalglish on half-time.
And holds the record for Scotland's most capped player.
Looking all the way off, there's Kenny Dalglish making the angle for the shot.
Now, Kenny Dalglish is delighted to see his country back in the greatest show on earth.
United as billions.
Listen, it's a fantastic achievement to qualify. So you've got to remember the size of the nation. Just hope this time they can do a lot better than what was done in the past. Qualified, they've got a better chance of qualifying this time because there's 3 options. Even do it 4, probably. Yeah, but you've got to get them first. So we know what's in front of us, but it's also in front of everybody else.
For Frank McAvenny, who played in the 1986 World Cup in Mexico, there's one player and one game in particular from that tournament that stands out for him.
and a big favourite for Maradona.
Oh, he's done it!
When he was Argentina, when they won it.
He did it right on cue.
That goal he scored against England.
Yeah.
The handball was good.
Yeah.
The handball was great.
And Maradona picks away through where there seemed to be none. And Shelton is back to it. It's Maradona's goal.
The other one was brilliant, wasn't it?
And he's hurting England again here. It's a brilliant run. It's one of the World Cup great goals.
A triumph for Diego Maradona and for Argentina.
And of course, Argentina are the defending champions. Now, from the men's side to the women's team. And Scotland head coach Melissa Andreatta says she's very proud after her team topped the World Cup qualifying group ahead of Belgium on goal difference. Caroline Weir scored 4 goals in the 5-1 thumping over Israel. It means Scotland are secured better seedings for the playoffs as well as promotion to League A of the next Nations League. So Scotland's women's side are in terrific form. Here's hoping that Scotland can continue their good form when they face Haiti. That match takes place on Sunday in Foxborough. But for the time being, from me live from Boston, is back to you in the studio.
Good luck, Scotland. C.R. Smith sponsors STV Sport.
The excitement and the tension is building. Not so hot here, just the usual, very cool with big showers again. Let's have a look at the forecast.
Expect clear skies, island vibes, and afternoons made for exploring. TUI sponsors STV Weather.
Well, we had those big heavy downpours yesterday evening. Again, some heavy ones around today from those large cumulonimbus clouds that have bubbled up. Tops about -20, hence we've had some hail around as well. But the good news is, like the showers yesterday, the ease away becomes mostly dry, clear spells tonight. And another chilly one for June. Temperatures down to about 5 or 6 degrees Celsius. Now tomorrow, at least you can forget about the showers. But there's still going to be something falling from the sky. It's just not going to be showers, it's just going to be more persistent rain tomorrow. And you can see the map pretty much disappearing from about 10, 11 o'clock onwards, because we end up just under a band of rain really through much of the day. It perhaps turns a little bit more showery later on in the afternoon, but all in all tomorrow, a pretty wet all day. 13, 14 degrees. It's going to feel cool with the cloud and the rain. Now, things are going to be changing a wee bit over the next couple of days. Friday, we go into more of a westerly, so the bulk of the showers will be in the west. Hopefully for us, it's mainly dry with sunshine. Top temperatures about 17 degrees Celsius. Saturday, we go into a north to northwesterly airflow. Again, actually, that's not bad direction for us, but it looks as if the Cairngorms probably take most of the showers for us, and we get dry, bright weather hopefully on Saturday. Dunkeld probably taking top spot, 17 for us on Saturday. Sunday, as the pressure builds a bit more, we'll lose the showers. It's mostly dry and bright, and maybe some spots in Perthshire, close to 20 degrees. Bye-bye.
TUI sponsors STV Weather.
And that's where we have to leave it for this evening. There's no late bulletin tonight, and tomorrow we're on at the earlier time of 5:30 because of the World Cup. It's all getting very real. Have a good evening.